Alright, guys and girls, this is Jerningham here, ladies and gentlemen. Putin's lost a lot of men in his army. Putin wants to recruit 300,000 people in his army. I'm sure he's not going to employ 3,000. And if that's the case, most of Ukraine have taken over the towns and the cities to regain control back. I'm sure it'd be quite annoying for Ukraine to lose a lot of territory if Putin builds his army back up. Putin threatened to use nuclear nukes one day ago. Not bluffing. Putin threatens to use nuclear weapons against Ukraine. I thought Putin was going to say, hold on, sorry about that. It was going to be nuking London, apparently. What about Northern Ireland, Scotland and Wales? Let's see what the video says. So, is it empty threats or will it happen? If he does nuke Ukraine, will he get through Poland and Switzerland as well? And Poland, Switzerland, and something else I'm starting. Norway, they're scared of it as well. Germany, I mean, World War III. Let's listen to what's being said then. Oh, I've got a really sore throat. I do apologise. Can't breathe. As you can see, where he says here, our country is also numerous of named of defence and its some complaints more advanced than those as NATO is talking about as well. So it's all about NATO. Go back to that. He talks about when the territorial intelligent country is threatening, will Russia use all means to death with Russia. So I'm going to read it all out to you like this, and we'll see it again, all the way through again if you want. Russia with citizens can be sure that the territorial what that means of homeland and independence of freedom will be sure means at I don't know what it means. Talks about those who are trying to blackmail us, nuke weapons should known that the wide many will blow their direction. So that's Putin's speech. We're going to watch it again after this advert, obviously, of pizzas on the TV. See? So watch it again. You've watched it my way of reading, so you can see it for yourself as well. No. Empty threats again, probably. We're still waiting for him to bomb London. He's going to bomb London. I mean, what does President Biden think about this? I'm sure he's not very happy about it, but Putin threatens to nuke the West. He has Joe Biden responded. And I just noticed one thing: the headphones, the whole time wasn't even unplugged, so you wouldn't have heard Putin speaking. But I showed you the background, so we watched
On behalf of the General
Joe
Assembly,
Biden.
I have the honor to welcome His Excellency Joseph R. Biden,
Do apologise for that.
President of the United States of America, and invite him to address the Assembly.
Thank you. Mr. President, Mr. Secretary General, my fellow leaders, in the last year, our world has experienced great upheaval. A growing crisis in food insecurity, record heat.
It's quite a long
floods,
video, guys and
drought,
girls. Ladies and gentlemen, something like 7 minutes. I think.
COVID-19, inflation, and a brutal, needless war. A war chosen by one man, to be very blunt. Let us speak plainly. A permanent member of the United Nations Security Council invaded its neighbor, attempted to erase the sovereign state from the map. Russia has shamelessly violated the core tenets of the United Nations Charter. No more important than the clear prohibition against countries taking the territory of their neighbor by force. Again, just today, President Putin has made overt nuclear threats against Europe and a reckless disregard for the responsibilities of the non-proliferation regime. Now, Russia's calling up more soldiers to join the fight, and the Kremlin is organizing a sham referenda to try to annex parts of Ukraine, an extremely significant violation of the UN Charter. This world should see these outrageous acts for what they are. Putin claims he had to act because Russia was threatened. But no one threatened Russia. And no one other than Russia.
Ukraine didn't threaten Russia.
Conflict.
Ukraine got targeted by Putin.
We warned
So,
it was coming. And with many of you, we worked to try to avert it. Putin's own words make his true purpose unmistakable. Just before he invaded, Putin asserted, and I quote, Ukraine was created by Russia and never had, quote, real statehood. And now we see attacks on schools, railway stations, hospitals, on centers of Ukrainian history and culture. In the past, even more horrifying evidence of Russia's atrocity and war crimes. Mass graves uncovered in Izium, bodies, according to those who excavated those bodies, showing signs of torture. This war is about extinguishing Ukraine's right to exist as a state, plain and simple, and Ukraine's right to exist as a people. Whoever you are, wherever you live, whatever you believe, that should make your blood run cold. That's why 141 nations in the General Assembly came together and to unequivocally condemn Russia's war against Ukraine. The United States has marshaled massive levels of security assistance and humanitarian aid and direct economic support for Ukraine. More than $25 billion to date. Our allies and partners around the world have stepped up as well. And today, more than 40 countries represented in here have contributed billions of their own money and equipment to help Ukraine defend itself.
I remember
The United States is
now.
also working closely with our allies and partners to impose costs on Russia, to deter attacks against NATO territory, to hold Russia accountable for the atrocities and war crimes. Because if nations can pursue their imperial ambitions without consequences, then we put at risk everything this very institution stands for. Everything. Every victory won on the battlefield belongs to the courageous Ukrainian soldiers. But this past year, the world was tested as well. And we did not hesitate. We chose liberty. We chose sovereignty. We chose principles to which every party to the United Nations Charter is beholding. We stood with Ukraine. Like you, the United States wants this war to end on just terms, on terms we all signed up for, that you cannot seize a nation's territory by force. That the only country standing in the way of that is Russia. So body who is determined to uphold the principles and beliefs we pledge to defend as members of the United Nations must be clear, firm, and unwavering in our resolve. Ukraine has the same rights that belong to every sovereign nation. We will stand in solidarity with Ukraine. We will stand in solidarity against Russia's aggression, period. Now, it's no secret that in the contest between democracy and autocracy, the United States and I, as president, champion a vision for our world that's grounded in the values of democracy. The United States is determined to defend and strengthen democracy at home and around the world, because I believe democracy remains humanity's greatest instrument to address the challenges of our time. We're working with the G7 and like-minded countries to prove democracies can deliver for their citizens, but also deliver for the rest of the world as well. But as we meet today, the UN Charter's very basis of a stable and just rule-based order is under attack by those who wish to tear it down or distort it for their own political advantage. And the United Nations Charter was not only signed by democracies of the world, it was negotiated among citizens, dozens of nations with vastly different histories and ideologies, united in their commitment to work for peace. As President Truman said in 1945, the UN Charter, and I quote, is proof that nations like men can state their differences, can face them, and then can find common ground on which to stand, end of quote. That common ground was so straightforward, so basic, that today 193 of you, 193 member states have willingly embraced its principles. And standing up for those principles for the UN Charter is the job of every responsible member state.
If you wish to watch this on YouTube, guys, you can. Or more things, but that's Joe Biden's speech about, it could be longer on YouTube. But, it's all front now. So, let's see what London nuke target Putin ally threats aggressive UK. I'm going to watch that next.
Our lives are a hive of activity.
After this advert,
So why
obviously.
does most health and life insurance just stand there,
Let's skip this advert,
doing
I think.
nothing?
Vitality is different. Our insurance doesn't just protect you, it also helps you get active with half-price gym membership from one of 440 gyms nationwide. And right now, pay no joining fee before the 30th of September.
There we go. Russia president threats. Russia nukes London. Well, Putin ally threats the UK. Putin advance. As your advance is threatening the UK nuke. On basics today, our G4 will targeted. He claims the missile could butcher London if remains aggressive against Russia. The professor of the international relations at Moscow University, many of these guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, on advance to Putin himself. Good morning. I mean, Putin used to have a good relationship with the Queen in the UK, but he turned, and as you can see there for yourself, I'm going to pause this. It says on the screen, guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it says in Russia there was patrol the nations. It says they're British, and but on Putin it talks about countries included against Great Britain. So if he nukes England, he nukes England, but he didn't come to the Queen's wedding because of what he's done to Ukraine. He spot that relationship. I don't know what that was just there a minute. Hold on a minute, let's go back to Great Britain again. It says, in Russia there was protectable mobility of Great Britain. Included countries. It was, you can see it for yourself. Some people can read, some people can't. You're going to be putting in on Wednesday. By the way, Putin, Russia. On Wednesday, Putin announces 300,000 reservists to be called up for fighting. So this Wednesday, it's going to get worse apparently. Like World War One, World War Two, could be World War Three. Who knows? We will hope not. Russia leads claimed weapons of not buffering about possible using nuke. He always says he's going to use the nuke. You know. Got the China in there as well. Right, and we've got the Joe Biden, Putin, and the German woman. I can't remember her name. This woman. Zelensky, Russia president. Sorry, Ukrainian president. I don't know what our president would think about this. Includes all this stuff too. Yep. Anyway, that's that video. Just to see if there's any more videos. I mean, he's already threatened the UK again. Seems to be threatening our country quite a lot, don't you, Putin? But are you really going to do it? It's just open words. Hope people will say, I hope not, but you're a crazy madman. No,
Voxy. Get exclusive rewards every month with Voxy Drop.
A woman was killed. Somebody set me up.
Adverts on the TV about
I
women.
lost 15 years of my life.
It's some kind of film, American.
There was a killer for hire.
I want to go back to work.
Show me what you can do.
Sort of guy out of
American Gigolo. Stream now on Paramount Plus.
What's his name? Walking Dead. Shane was in the Punisher films on Netflix.
Nuclear weapons as early as 1940.
A scientific group known as the
Check it out on TV. Nuclear weapons. Right, 60 seconds. Trying to find more news about it, but like I said, he's going to be nuking the UK again. Says too much. Would there be war signs in the UK, Northern Scotland and Wales, but would the UK get drafted in? Who knows? Sore throat again.
The collective West has declared total hybrid war on us, and it is hard to predict how long all of this will last.
I've already seen that one, so I wonder if he's going to mention England again. Probably will do. Anyway, guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, tell me what you think about this. If you reckon to do it, well, he's mad enough to do other things, isn't he? If he gets through Poland, then it's World War III. He may go to Finland, may go to Sweden. They won't stand for this rubbish. Anyway, and as you all know, there's some people in Poland, some Russian civilians and stuff, like mums and dads and children now. Who knows? Let's hope it doesn't happen, but let's all get ready for a war. Nobody wants war, but some people prefer to be peaceful. Anyway, thank you for joining this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, peace. Take it easy.